Thank you everyone for having us here, and it's a great opportunity to be here and have a round of conversations with Gauri. Um,
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone.
so let's start from the beginning. I mean, we've bumped into each other in many places. We've had dinners in different cities of the world, spoken design, spoken life, and every time I meet you, there is so much more to explore, from your past, from your present, and what you're going in the future. So I'm always intrigued about your past. Like, you come from a very different background, and you've aced and mastered a completely new field. What's the story?
Uh, Firstly, I have to say that I've always been inclined towards design. Even though I graduated with a degree, I did history honors in Delhi, and I did arts, fine arts in school. So I did have that background. But design was always my passion. And it all began when I started designing my own home in Mumbai, and Kef was the architect on the project. So we worked very closely. I learned a lot from him. It was a great experience, and once the home was ready, I remember having a small, just like few friends over, and Suzanne walked into the house, and she was launching her store, the Charcoal Project. And she looked at the space and she said, "You know what? I think you are obsessed with interior design. I can see it in your work." And I had been talking to her about it, and she said, "I can see it. I think you are passionate about what you do, and why don't you showcase a line at my store?" And I jumped at the opportunity. I said, "Oh, wow, that sounds like a great opportunity." And I did that. And once I got a good reaction from her store, after a few months, I went shop hunting, if that's any word, shop hunting. I went to Raghuvanshi Mills.
Correct.
And I spotted this very, very tiny space. And my husband, Shahrukh, he said, "Are you sure that you want to do this? This is like a 500 square feet. It's very tiny. And what exactly are you going to do here?" So I looked at him and I said, "I believe in starting small and growing big."
Sure.
I said, "Let me launch my product. Let me see where this goes." Um, and it took me some time. And we opened the store, and there was no looking back. We got some good projects, good sales, and then I thought that I must take it forward, and we launched my flagship store, which is now currently in Juhu. And that's how I'm here today with you, sitting with you one-on-one, having a chat on interiors and architecture, and nobody better than you. I've
Thank
seen you
you.
all over the place, and I love your work.
Thank
So
you.
I can actually sit with you with a trained architect and an interior designer.
Yeah.
From my background, purely with passion, hard work, just being obsessed with what I do. Um, so I think that's the only reason I can sit with you and have a conversation and talk about what I'm doing today.
No, it's amazing because I had a completely different journey. I started off as an architect, studying architecture
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
Bombay and then Mumbai, and then I went to New York and I studied there, worked there, came back, worked with Nozer Vadia, and then started my own practice. And it was a very tough journey, and to think of it that you have you've said it so easily, but I can just imagine how tough it would have been.
Yes, I've just said it very quickly so that
Yeah.
nobody starts yawning here.
Yeah.
So I said, let me do a quick brief. No, but I feel in life, if you're, I've said it before, if you're passionate about what you're doing, if you love what you're doing, but there's no shying away from hard work.
Yeah.
You have to be at it, you have to be very focused. And if you have all these qualities and you
Yeah.
give it time and you give it your heart, your mind, your soul has to be all dedicated
Yeah.
to what you do, I think most people would see success
Yeah.
at some point in their life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible for anyone not to see success and their business going to whatever level they want it to go.
Yeah.
You have to try, you have to be there, you have to be
build
at it.
Yeah.
You have to be at it. And
Yeah.
whatever, it could be something small, it could be something big. It's just that you have to be focused and you have to be on the job.
On the job. Speaking of the job, there is always the reason why you and me and several other people are here on the stage today is because we are building our own voices through our work, right? We're building a language through our work, like me with Wabi Sabi, with minimalism, almost the complete other spectrum of what you do, where you bring glamour into work, you bring in texture, you bring in color, you bring in, so much antiquities, art, all of that, very effortlessly. But I bet there is some method to the madness. There is a style, there is something that ticks that off, that brings it together. What would you define your style? How would you define your style?
Style or design, firstly, I think whether it's fashion or it's interiors, is very personal.
Absolutely.
It is very personal.
Yeah.
I may love red, you may love black.
Yeah.
So firstly, I would say it's personal, but if you ask me, I would say design for me has to be timeless. It has to be, you have to be comfortable if I'm designing a home for somebody, I think even if it's glamorous, you have to be comfortable in that space what you design. It has to be effortless. That's also, as you said, is important.
Yeah.
And these are my key points when I design any space.
I've been to this restaurant you've done, Sancho's, and it's beautiful.
But what's your style? Yours is minimalistic,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And it's so beautiful because every time you go, it just transports you. I love the way those doors open outside, the rugs that you've used on the walls, this higher level. It just warms up the space. Anything particular you want to say about the project? Something that's close to your heart? Because everybody's seen the space, but no one's heard the genius behind.
No, I think every project it depends who we are designing for, who is the client for me. Is it a residential? Is it a commercial? Is it a restaurant? So it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the space, how large the project is. And each project has to be close to you, and you have to do your best to make it look fantastic.
And bring your personal voice to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would not like to pick one project.
Yeah.
I think they are all dear to me.
Yeah.
I worked equally hard at each and every project which I design. Heart, soul, I said, everything is there.
Yeah.
And focus and determination and love.
Yeah.
I think love is the most important thing when you're designing. If you love the space, you have to be passionate, you have to be just on top of the game. So that's what I feel, that each project, every time I finish a project and when I see a smile on the client's face, that's what keeps me inspired, keeps me ticking, and that's the happiest moment for me. It gives me inspiration to just keep moving forward and designing better spaces.
I'm going to take a page from Dr. Batra's book and how he was grilling Manish for names and things. But I'm going to be the opposite. I'm going to name them.
Okay.
I'm going to name your Bollywood celebrity client because you can't run away from there. The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. You've done homes from Shah Rukh Khan to Alia to Ranbir to Siddharth to Jacqueline to everyone that matters in Bollywood, right? You've also done the home for one of your closest friends, right? Karan Johar, right? And that's for me is blasphemy because for me working with friends and family is I run the other direction.
So you don't work with
I
friends?
avoid it with a vengeance.
Really?
Because I feel like, when it comes to design, either you get along or you absolutely don't get along and it affects relationships.
I feel when friends trust you with their home, I think that just says it all.
Yeah.
And Karan has done exactly that.
Yeah.
He trusted me with his home,
Yeah.
and I love him for that.
Yeah.
So-
And I remember you saying that he trusts you so blindly that if you say make it black, he'll make it black without even batting an eyelid, right?
No, for me, Karan is a very dear friend,
Yeah.
but he's also one of my best clients,
Yeah.
because I remember showing him the presentation for the nursery, and he
Yeah.
just gave me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And getting a thumbs up from the most creative and the most talented people
Yeah.
who I know in my lifetime is Karan.
Yeah.
And getting a thumbs up from him, I was on cloud 9.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm excited.
Certificate from heaven.
Yes, absolutely.
But,
and it
tell
was
us some-
smooth. And I have 3 kids, so
Yeah.
designing a nursery was the easiest thing for me.
I was just
to
getting
do.
to that. So because for me, designing a nursery, I run a mile. Like, I'm
Maybe
not a
because you're not
parent.
a parent
Yeah.
and you don't have
Kids,
kids,
yeah.
yes.
And, you did it so beautifully and, you use these Tell us more about that nursery because, we've seen just pictures online, but, it's nice to know more about it if you want to talk
As I
about
told
it.
you,
Yeah.
that once I sent him the presentation,
Yeah.
I got a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And that closed the chapter.
Yeah.
And there the nursery was ready in 3 months.
And you have a young child as well, Abram,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And does he go often to that nursery and play with the kids?
Abram thinks he's already 21 because
Wow.
his brother is 21 and
Yeah.
his sister is 18.
Yeah.
So he wants a pad. He
So
doesn't want a
he
nursery.
doesn't compare his nursery to theirs?
He tells me that Bhaiya has a pad.
Yeah.
I want that. I don't want a nursery. So he's jumped from a toddler into being just an adult, I think.
Oh, wow. That's easy for you.
Very easy.
Yeah. Coming back to your work, I mean, there would be projects that you love and projects that are difficult, right? Let's start with the most challenging projects that you've done. Like, something that maybe you're working on that's physically as well as mentally as well as emotionally challenging.
I think I'll ask you, which is your most challenging project?
So my most challenging project was we were building this house in Pune and we had to build a bridge which spanned 8 meters and it was a cantilevered kind of structure. So for me it was very structural and it was never done before. So we had to get in engineers involved and then we were
So
building.
that's sounding very technical.
Very technical, challenging. But other than that, it was nothing that challenging. But I know you work on extremely.
So, as I said, yes, we have our in-house team of architects, interior designers. Obviously, when it comes to architecture, I have to have my in-house team who I have to trust because I have, as you know, I have not done architecture. I have not studied it.
Yep.
I don't have that knowledge. But that does not mean that stops anyone from trusting the people who you hire, who you work with, and you take their support and you understand the project, and we've managed beautifully in most of our projects. And currently I'm working on this project in Imphal, which is 1 lakh square feet. It's a 5-star hotel.
1 lakh square feet.
It's one of our most exciting projects today. But just getting there is like 2 days. So that is the most challenging, to get, get the timelines in order.
But also getting
Just
material on site.
materials,
Yeah.
just getting the whole team together and delivery. We have to deliver it within a year. So that I feel I'm excited, I'm looking forward to that project. But I also, it's a bit dicey that, we have to meet with the deadlines.
But finally we can go and stay in
Imphal?
Imphal. Why not? I mean, I've never been, but it'd be nice to have a luxury hotel property
So
there.
maybe we'll catch you for the opening.
For sure, I would love it. And then also, what is your most, the project that you felt was closest to your heart, your most exciting project, or
So
even
I can say currently, if you ask me, I'm looking forward to the project we've designed for the Shane and Falguni store, which is in Kala Ghoda, which is unveiling next month.
Wow.
That is going to be super exciting because I think 3 creative people, Shane, Falguni, and myself, coming together. They are fantastic designers. I love their work. And working with designers from fashion to interiors was just like a fun thing to
Effortless.
do. No, I mean, I was understanding their thought, what
Yeah.
they wanted, and I couldn't just do exactly what I wanted to do. We had to just use our heads all together, and just the combination of all of us, I think it's going to be magical. I hope
Yeah.
so.
No, it will be. I think
Yes, I
it's
hope
one of the
so. So
most
that's what
talked
is.
about projects in the papers right now, and everyone's
Yes.
looking forward to
What
it.
is your most talked about project?
So I think La Mill is a store that we designed,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then another store which is very close to my heart is Raw Mango. It's in Colaba. It's about sustainability. So we
Yeah, it's a
use
great brand. I've
yeah,
seen their
yeah.
clothes.
So we
It's fun
designed their
stuff.
stores, and
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
wanted to
nice.
work with natural earth materials,
Yeah.
and try to kind of use materials that can be biodegradable.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know?
I love about your work. I've
Yeah.
seen that in all your pictures
Thank
and
you.
stuff.
We also worked a lot with crafts,
Yeah.
crafts villages, and the idea is to bring crafts to the luxury side
Yeah.
of the world. Right now, crafts is.
But that's a great thought. I haven't really looked into that.
But
as
you
yet,
must.
but
I think the day
must.
you
I
step in,
think so.
the whole
Yes.
scene will change because
Yes.
then it suddenly becomes very, 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 very what aspirational.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's what that genre
Yeah.
needs. But that said, we have a long way to go with crafts. We've been struggling. I've been telling you how difficult it is to work with conditions within the environment that we are in the country. But slowly, I think we'll work with it. But yeah, Raw Mango is very exciting for us, and obviously, Mask and Sequel, the two restaurants that we worked on.
Yeah.
But that said, I think the audience here is looking for more masala. I think so. Let's get some more fun facts out of this. Like, I read somewhere and it said that you designed the clothes for Bazigar.
Oh my God, yeah.
Is it true? First of all, you can deny it and you can
It's
accept.
so true
It is.
that you have no idea.
Tell us more.
Well, today when I look at that picture, I posted it. That's
Yeah.
how you know.
Yeah.
Well, I posted it and I came across this picture and said, "Oh my God, I have designed this look."
Yeah.
That's how I posted it.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten that I started off as a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Fashion for Shah Rukh's clothes in movies.
Wow.
I did quite a few films, and I think it was a big disaster.
No, I don't think so. I think you all agree. I think Shah Rukh has been a fashion icon.
No, but
right?
I think when I saw those, those jeans with, I got this designer to paint on those jeans, and
Right.
I looked at those jeans and I was like, wow, I've just nailed the look.
Yeah.
With this T-shirt which had these leg warmers from Flashdance, I made him wear that look. The bullet belt and the red shirt thrown. When I saw it on the large screen, this is like 20 years, maybe longer. I was so excited. I was really, really excited. But today, when I saw the image, I was like, what a mess.
No, it's not. I think it's all coming back. 90s are the new thing, and I feel
If you
like,
insist,
No,
yes.
I think painted jeans are the new thing everywhere, right?
So I should post some other images of the films which I've designed for him,
Which are the
nobody's
other
aware
films?
of. I designed this film, Dar, which was one of his iconic films.
I mean, if you look at Jakuma's work, the oversized clothes are back.
The shirt,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But there was a shirt he's wearing in the title track.
Yeah.
I remember getting it from one of the shops in London, the stores. Just walking one day and I just picked it up. It had multicolors. It had maroon and pink and X and Y, and I saw it and I was in my 20s and I looked at it and I said, this is the shirt.
Yeah.
He's gonna wear this.
Yeah.
And I forced it down his throat, even though it was not his style. He wore it and the film was extremely successful.
Yeah.
And the clothes thankfully went in the background and were not talked about.
No, but it's amazing because it's an individual style that he embodied and it became
that's
iconic.
our post that Karan came into our lives and he said, it's high time you stop designing these clothes and I shall take over.
Yeah.
And he was starting his film. And Karan, as you know, is a fashion icon now.
Yeah, for sure.
He's fully into the whole scene and he took over and he started doing Shah Rukh's clothes after Kuch Kuch Hota Hai with his team, with Manish and various other
then it
designers
was
were on
another
board. And then it was
story.
next
Yeah.
level and I was just sidelined. Fully.
Would you come back to it at some point?
I don't think so. I think
You're too busy now. With,
I think I need to focus on what I love.
Yeah.
And this is what I love.
yeah.
I would not take
But if I don't think many people know Shah Rukh's personal style. What is his personal? What does he like to wear at home? Like what would he say that is his go-to clothes to
He
fashion
loves his white
statement?
shirt
Yeah.
and blue jeans.
That's it. Standard.
And a black suit just like yours. I think he
Right.
love what you're wearing.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Yes.
Uh,
He just is a black,
yeah.
into the
I
black
think for
look.
men, it's such a staple. When you
Yeah.
are confused, wear black and walk
Yeah.
out. And for women, Lady in Red has always been iconic. So
Why not?
Yeah. So
Yes.
we're kind of we're right on the spot
Yes.
there. Um, and I mean, when we talk about inspiration, right? Like, think coming back to our design talk, there is always inspiration that comes in phases, and in like sometimes I wake up with zero inspiration, and I just want to take a flight and run away. For me, that is my way of getting inspired, traveling in my head and physically. How do you get inspired? What is it? Because you wear so many hats: a wife, a producer, a homemaker, a mother, I mean, daughter, sister, and then also a designer. How do you wear these hats, and where do you find the inspiration between all these jobs?
I think inspiration, feel, is everywhere. It's where and how you use it and find it, number one. Number two, yes, I travel. I think travel is a great source of inspiration, especially when I go to see my children. They are in LA, Aryan is in LA, Sohana is in New York. And those are my most two favorite cities wherever I like to travel. I love going to New York. And this is a great opportunity that I get to see my kids.
Yeah.
I take my camera and I'm just walking the streets whenever I'm not with the kids, whether I'm in a flea market or at a museum or shopping. It could be just walking around in the park. It's just everywhere.
So can we call you a global design nomad?
Yeah, I'm a gypsy.
Gypsy. Yeah, I
Yes.
think we all are gypsies in our head. To be able to be designers, you
Yeah.
have to have, to be able to churn everything every day. But tell me your last design destination that you were, and you were inspired by something. Give us some moments.
When we had lunch in Milan.
That's true.
That was my last design.
Really?
Yeah.
It was in April.
After
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Milan
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That
I think we
lunch,
had
that
such
was
a nice
like
time.
Fun lunch, and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah,
in the Milan
and
fair.
you know what's amazing about design is that
You love walking around in Milan
love,
and seeing.
yeah, yeah.
I took some notes and some points from you about
Yeah.
where to go, and
But that's the best
So you,
thing
I
about-
think you also know a lot about the key spaces, places to
Yeah.
go during the fair, or for inspiration, or how do you?
You know,
do
the thing
that.
with me is that I've always been a nomad. Like, I can't sit in one place at any point of more than 5 days, and I'm gone. Because I feel like, as I said, I'm not a parent, so I don't have responsibilities.
exactly.
And we've discussed this in the past.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's very easy to just take my passport and go anywhere. You know, currently I'm taking my passport and going nowhere because I'm going to villages in India. But that said, I love going to Milan and Paris and London, and going to the
Yeah.
flea markets, traveling for design fairs,
Yeah.
which. Yeah, by the way, Gauri is, it's in the design world, it's very iconic to pass by Gauri at the Milan Design Fair. If you pass by Gauri, it's like there's a WhatsApp group of designers saying, we saw Gauri at booth number F5. So everybody runs there.
Oh God!
It's
Not
the
at all.
truth. So, those are moments of design that, maybe things happen behind your back that you don't know.
I don't know anything.
But that said, what's lovely is that you embody that so beautifully because you're so open to learning, right? Coming for the position that you come, you're still a child at heart who's very open to more inspiration, getting more knowledge. You don't care if you're sitting with a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old, and you want to learn more. And I think that's that is the real reason for someone to grow bigger in life,
No,
right?
exactly. I think you are constantly learning till your last day.
Yeah.
You have to constantly learn, to imbibe, to be aware.
Yeah.
I think being aware of your surrounding is very, very important.
Yeah.
And that should never change.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to move forward, to grow, and to achieve what your goals are, and
Yeah.
to get there. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I feel.
And when it comes to art, I've seen your home has the most iconic pieces being the Reddy, Raza, Atul Dodia, and international art as well. What is your take on art? How do you see art? I know you're also a painter, right? Like you did charcoal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So art was my subject in school. I did charcoal, watercolors, any kind of medium, pencils, sketches. So I was already familiar with the whole scene. But once we moved into our place, I started hunting for good art. Well, I didn't have much knowledge, but this is like 25 years ago when I started, or 20 years ago, just looking at art. And I picked up some young, upcoming designers, artists. And
Which are
after a few
iconic
years,
now, which are such iconic
which are
works now.
strangely,
Yeah.
as you saw and said, that this is an iconic piece of art,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
picked up, and I was not very sure what I was
Yeah.
picking up. So it was just what I saw, what I loved, the color, the palette. I did not read much about the artist who I picked, because it was just my instinct.
Yeah.
And I picked up those artists, and today they are absolutely on top of the game and are doing really well. So I was like, I give a pat on my back and I
You
say,
should.
I picked well and I
Yeah,
chose
you had a
well,
great eye,
and I had a good eye.
Yeah. So do you recommend art to your projects as well, saying that if you are traveling somewhere
Yeah.
in some city and you see a piece, do you call your clients and say, I want to put this in the living room
Yeah.
or in the bedroom? Does
Well,
that happen?
Of course, as a designer, everybody gives their inputs, everybody gives suggestions. Some clients are open to it, some aren't. They have
Do people say no to Gauri Khan?
Yes, they do. You'll be surprised. There are not, in fact, that's a good point you picked up. According to me, there are positives and there are negatives. Everything what I stand for is not positive. Like there will be people who will come to the store and say, what is your background? Are you a trained designer? They will have those questions, and they would not they would rather go to a well-known architect to give them the next job.
Yeah.
So it's not that, everything comes with a positive. There will always be
I think there are
do's and
lots of
don'ts,
people who will be-
positive and negative.
Yeah.
That will be the case.
Also, I think a lot of people will be very intimidated to approach
They
you.
do.
Because they're
They
like,
are.
how can I ask her to do
Yeah.
my house? Like.
So that I get that a lot.
Yeah.
So that happens. So if we are together, I think if there are 30 people in the room, I would say I would get 8 people to sign me on, and I would feel the rest 20, how many ever would come to you.
No, I get one.
No. So because I feel that it's not, you have to see that you can't just see the rosy picture. And
Yeah, because making a house is also
it's
comfort
not-
level,
yeah,
and they
it's
should not feel.
Everything is not, what you see. That,
Yeah.
oh wow, one day I decided that I am going to be an interior designer.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
That said, you're doing a 1 lakh square feet hotel. So,
But that, no. But
that's amazing, actually.
But it's taken me time to get
Yeah,
here.
that's true.
It's
That's
taken
true.
me 10 years.
I'm actually very excited to go there, It's a great getaway. It'll be a great getaway,
Well, I'll send you the pictures.
I'm
If you like
very
it,
excited, very excited.
you're most welcome.
So I get the first dibs on the photos?
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah,
I don't
I think we're
because we
just
can keep on
talking.
going on. We will not stop.
I think
but
the time should be up.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Yes, thank
Gauri.
you. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm sure everyone had a great time. It was like a very spontaneous and amazing conversation. We would request you to please be on stage just for a minute. Just for a minute. I'm so sorry. Well, we would want to felicitate you also. Please, let's have a big round of applause as to do the same. I'm going to call on stage Mr. Srini Srinivasan, President of World Design Organization, and Mr. Pradyumna Vyas, former Director, National Institute of Design.